Everybody, y'all ready? Y'all good? Okay, first I'd like to thank you for being here today on behalf of Roanoke County. My name is Rick Birch, and I'm the fire chief for Roanoke County. We have several speakers that will share with you some things that have been done since the storm came in on Friday night and what are being done and what will continue to be done over the next several days. We will try to address or will address several different issues. I will start off with fire and rescue and also at 911 center. When the storm hit Friday night, I guess around 11 o'clock, approximately 11:30, and 911 center was immediately inundated with emergency calls. In the past several days, they have answered over 5,000 phone calls that have come through our 911 center. They had to increase staffing and call back staff to handle this large call volume. That call volume resulted in approximately 1,250 responses. 406 were fire and rescue type responses. We saw a tremendous increase, as you can imagine, with wires down, but we also continued our usual number of fire calls, fire alarm calls, advanced life support calls. One unusual circumstance we had were people who ran out of power and had to have oxygen, and we had a unit that would carry spare oxygen around to these people's homes until other arrangements could be made. Again, we in fire and rescue, as you'll hear from all of the departments, have called back additional staff. Our senior staff has been in the ELC, operating the ELC, with administrative staff from fire and rescue and across the county. And of course, have people in the field. We've had overtime with career staff and also tremendous response from our volunteers. It happened on a weekend, so that was good for us with availability of volunteers to handle that increased call volume. Some other things of interest to you, we have a full-scale evacuation shelter that has been up and operational now for a couple of days. It's in the exhibit hall at the Roanoke Civic Center. We're co-staffing and co-sponsoring that evacuation center in partnership with Roanoke City and the American Red Cross. And it's worked very well. We've had quite a few people come through there, but it's exactly the right size. It works well with the Red Cross when we can coordinate one center. We realize some people may have to travel a little ways, but it's really best logistically because they have to bring the food, the water, the cots, the blankets, and what have you. So it works very well doing that with them in partnership as well for the convenience to our citizens. Another thing that we learned of today, the Salvation Army will be providing what they call mass feeding, basically meals tonight during dinner time from 5 to 6:30. This will also be at the exhibit hall at the Roanoke Civic Center. They will be pick-up meals only. It will not be a place where you can come and sit down and eat, but there will be meals ready to go that you can pick up and take with you. They will continue that service tomorrow for lunch from 12:30 to 1:30, and again tomorrow night for dinner from 5 to 6:30. And once again, that's at the Roanoke Civic Center, Exhibit Hall, and it will be takeout dinners. In Roanoke County, for Roanoke County citizens, we know that we have some folks that may not be able to drive in this hot weather or may not have someone capable of giving them a ride. We have a phone number, which I can give to you in a few minutes. I don't have it right this second, that the citizens can call in, and we will pick you up and take you to the evacuation center. And then if you want to return home, we will bring you home. But I would like to state that that is for Roanoke County citizens only. We have a van and a driver that will provide that service for our citizens. With that said, I'm going to stop now. What I'd like to do is let each of our other speakers give an update on their particular area, and then I'll come back at the end and be glad to entertain any questions. But if you'll let them get through their information, and then we'll come back to you. I would like to introduce Mr. Clay Goodman, our county administrator, who will give you an update on the status of the operations of the county. Mr. Goodman?
Thank you. This is just an overall status update on county facilities. The Roanoke County Administration Center will be closed until further notice. We do not have power at our RCAC. And this is the building that houses the community development. That's where you get your building permits and so forth. Treasurer's office, commissioner, registrar, and real estate valuations. We have instituted a temporary location that we opened today at 9 o'clock at the Bramilton Center for building permits. Those who are seeking building permits can go to the Brambleton Center at 3738 Brambleton Avenue and seek building permits there. The Roanoke County's Public Service Center on Kessler Mill Road is also closed. That's Parks and Rec. From time to time we'll have some walk-in traffic. That's their offices and so forth. We ask that if you have any questions or anything that you go to the Green Ridge Recreation Center, which is open, rather than go to Kessler Mill for Parks and Rec questions and so forth. Other facilities closed due to the power outage include Roanoke County's Good Park, Camp Roanoke, and Explorer Park Visitor Center. We're also working with AEP on trying to get power restored to this building, the public safety building. We are currently serviced by 24-hour backup generation facility that we have. We hope to get electrical service restored here as soon as possible. We also would like to point out that our public libraries, our 6 libraries, our 6 branches throughout the county, they are open. And this would be a great place if you need to get out of the heat, if you need to charge your phone, if you need to charge your laptop, things of that nature. Please go to our libraries, and they will be glad to assist you any way they can, and we would encourage you to go there. So that's just a basic summary of what's going on right now for Roanoke County in their facilities. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Goodman. And next we'll have Acting Police Chief Terrell Holbrook. Chief.
Thank you, Chief. Just real briefly, over the weekend after the storm rolled through Friday, we ended up bringing in additional officers to make sure that we would at least have coverage for any of the increased calls for service. We did receive about 1,300 calls for service since the storm went out. Primarily those were dealing with traffic-related matters and managing the flow of the motor vehicles. As it stands right now, AEP has restored some of those intersections, but we're currently experiencing outages in the Tanglewood area, and that is, as many of you know, is a significant corridor. If you can avoid it, we would ask you to please do so. We have officers there in the intersection, and as a sidebar, I think we have a wonderful citizenry, because over the weekend, as our officers were out there in 100-degree heat, motorists would come by and give them Gatorade and water while they were directing traffic in the intersection. And for that, I'm grateful. So I don't know who it was, but I'd like to say thankful for whoever that was. Again, the officers were out there, and one of the things that they were trying to do after the end of their shift, some of them came back with some saws, because there is, as many of you know, phenomenal damage in the county. We're trying to mitigate that. If roads are closed with trees that are down, we're trying to help in that regard as well. So with that said, I would ask that people just continue to be mindful of their homes and try and be secure as best they can without the power. Right now, generators and chainsaws are a top commodity, so please keep them close at hand. Thank you, Chief.
Next we'll have Ms. Anne Marie Green, Director of General Services. Anne Marie.
Thank you, Rick. I'm Anne Marie Green, Director of General Services. My department covers solid waste. We, as you know, this storm has left a whole lot of damage throughout the county, mainly in the Brush area, and we are also in a holiday week. So I want the citizens to know that we are maintaining the holiday week schedule for the bulk pickup and for the regular trash pickup. There's Monday and Tuesday on the regular days, and then Wednesday will be picked up on Thursday, and Thursday will be picked up on Friday. On brush, however, we will be working on the 4th of July, and if people see trucks in their neighborhood and they worry they've missed their trash collection because they knew it was a holiday week, they need not worry. It is simply the brush trucks. They will be out there. We're picking up as much as we can. We're hoping to catch up by the end of the week, but different parts of the county have been hit differently. People that are interested in dealing with their own brush, or if they have stuff in their refrigerators and freezers that they'd like to get rid of before the trash people will be getting there, they're more than welcome to go to the transfer station. The transfer station has extended hours this week. Today and tomorrow and Thursday and Friday it will be 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. and on the 4th of July it will be 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. I also want to remind people, for the brush pickup, we take a 6 foot long by 12 inches. Nothing bigger than that is going to fit into our truck. And anybody that is putting their spoiled food out for collection, make sure it's well bagged and so that we can get it out of the cans and everything. The other issue, and we're hoping people will be patient about this, there are some streets we cannot get into. There are trees down and there are power lines down. Some people have a tree down and they and their neighbors have cut through it, and that's wonderful, but they didn't necessarily make it wide enough for the garbage truck to get through. So people need to have some patience. We'll do the very best we can, but some streets we're simply not going to be able to get into. Thank you.
Thank you. As you know, that we have a great partnership and tie with the town of Vinton, and we have today with us the town manager, Chris Lawrence, to update you on Vinton's status. Chris?
Thank you, Chief. Again, my name is Chris Lawrence, the town manager for the town of Vinton. We've been working diligently since Friday evening, again, to respond to calls through dispatch, numerous trees down. Public Works really worked through the evening, has cleared the roads, cleared the debris. The town itself is actually in pretty good shape now in terms of roads, debris, power, and water. However, our critical issue that we're continuing to work on is the Falling Creek, Wolf Creek, Victoria Meadows, and Chestnut Mountain, beginning on Saturday night, have been without water. That required additional resources to be planned with fire and rescue for tankers, which was done. It also required us, and we have opened a water center, a cooling shelter, as well as potable water at the Vinton War Memorial and Senior Center at 824 Washington Avenue. Those we also, working in concert with the Virginia Department of Health, have issued a boil notice, but that boil notice is only for those neighborhoods that were listed: Falling Creek, Wolf Creek, Victoria Meadows, and Chestnut Mountain. Anybody located within the town or any other area that did not lose water, their water is perfectly safe. It is treated water, and no additional actions need to be taken. We will continue to work with the Department of Health and test the water throughout the week, and until the Department of Health gives us the green light, residents should boil their drinking water. If you need bottled water or any other potable water, come to the War Memorial. We actually have an updated information too. As of this afternoon, the Chestnut Mountain water system has been restored with power. So over the next 12 to 18 hours, that water system will be refilled. You will start seeing water pretty immediately, but to refill and recharge the tanks and get the water cleaned through with sediment, that will take some time, and it'll take time to get the water service to the level that fire coverage is adequate for those areas. Our Falling Creek pump station has been restored with power, but has electrical damage. We are working on that this afternoon. We hope to have that fixed by the end of the day today, and if not, it'll be tomorrow when the part arrives. Therefore, water, hopefully by tomorrow, then will start flowing at Falling Creek, and those boil notices are the same. More information is at vintonva.gov at our website, or you can call the town at 983-0603. We also, similar to the county, will be picking up all of the brush this week on the holiday schedule. So that's Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. The bulk pickup we will delay until next week. That's things that are not tree related. And certainly if anybody needs any help, just give us a call and we'll work with you as best we can. Thank you very much.
The number for citizens to call our EOC for assistance is, that's the bus. All right, but that's also if you need anything else, we've been calling that line. Yeah, same number. Any citizen need anything, whether it's the bus to the evacuation center or just information or anything they want to ask us, is 777-8798. I would like to add, Mr. Lawrence made me think of it, we are looking at and evaluating a plan of issuing potable water from fire stations. We know maybe a particular area like Catawba where they're on wells, don't have electricity and may not have water. So we'll evaluate that afternoon and may have that up and going soon. At this point, any questions of me or anyone that spoke today, please feel free and we'll bring them back to the podium. Sir?
Yes, sir.
There have been some reports, I think mostly in the city, of homes being vandalized, people who are taking advantage, I guess, of the situation. Have you received any reports like that?
We have not seen any uptick in that type of activity. I did ask this morning just to make sure that over the weekend, if we'd had similar reports, we have not.
You don't have any?
Nothing above and beyond what would be the norm.
Also, are there any, how many roads are closed in the county, if any?
Chief, do you know that right off? Or- Yeah, I don't know that we have any that are completely closed. I would have to check on that for you. Let me check on that.
We have one road in town that has not been cleared, and it's not necessarily due to debris anymore, as it is the power line is sagging, and it's just not safe. So we've closed Mountain View Road right on the town line between the town and the county. There's a short section, and if you need to get around that, you drive up Ramada Road and simply drive through the neighborhood.
How many people are still without water?
As of really this afternoon, there's about 1,400 people in the Falling Creek, Wolf Creek area, and there's probably about 750 people on Chestnut Mountain. There's about 200 homes out there.
Anyone else?
For the Civic Center evacuation shelter, how many people have used that and how long that's going to be open?
It's going to be open, right now the plans is to keep that open through Thursday daytime, the end of the day Thursday. Of course, we'll evaluate that over the next day or two, and how much power comes back on, how many people we still have without power.
Any idea how many people have actually used it?
I don't know the total numbers. I know the peak was 142, and then some left and some came, so I don't know the total number. I can get that for you. But I know at one point, I think the highest number was 142. And some of the folks who were there needed to be there. They had been overheated and needed to get out of the heat, so it was a good thing. Anyone back here?
I have an incomplete list of some road closures that we have.
All right, let's see what you got.
We currently, and this is as of looks like 8 o'clock this morning, we had Brookview at Ridgecrest, which was completely blocked by down power lines. Northway between Boxley and Manor were also completely blocked. And I think that, are these, Chuck, are these also the ones that we had? There were some partial blockages out in Catawba area, but I don't have the full list. We can certainly get that back.
And the Tanglewood, I thought there was power at Tanglewood this past weekend. Was it the storm last night that took it out?
I'm not sure the mall's out right now. Issues with the traffic lights in the vicinity of the mall were,
I thought the lights were on.
The traffic lights had been on, but we lost power to the intersection at Electric and Starkey, at Ogden and Starkey, as well as Ogden and Electric. So that triangle corridor there has lost power. I know that one of our employees who lives on Starkey had power over the weekend, but then last night lost it. So I'm not certain if that line also feeds the mall, and if so, that may be why we're without there.
The percent of Roanoke County residents who had electricity last night at 11 o'clock, it was higher this morning than it was last night at 11 because of that storm, the second storm. So it went up. Well, you know what that was. Well,
It went from 36 to 40.
yeah, I think we were at 36% last night, and now it's back up to like 43%. I don't know. We've been in touch to some degree with AEP, And it's very massive. It's damaged all the way up through West Virginia that impacts the transmission lines that brings it to Roanoke. So it's not just what you see here, it's the power coming into here.
I guess you guys are just asking people to be patient.
Yes, yes. And also, be very careful with generators. We know they're being used right now, and it's, the way you hook those generators up, make sure you have someone who knows what they're doing. And another big problem is people will run them maybe inside of their garage, and the carbon monoxide from the exhaust can be a real issue, a real health issue. So be very, very careful with generators.
You mentioned a second ago that people in more rural areas they have private wells, and obviously aren't getting any water to their homes. Is there anything available to them? Is there water, non-drinkable water they can pick up to use to flush their toilets and what have you?
Well, we're working on a plan now to where we'll set a time period up, and they'll be able to bring plastic jugs, milk jugs, whatever they may have, and we can fill those up with potable water from the stations. Yes. Okay, we good? All right, well, thank you again.
Thank y'all.